mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Peace. All the Moors and true light seekers. I want to start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents Moors, health and wealth. But today is Saturday, our Adapt class, and we're going to be giving some great information about history and Moors and how to think and just what this life is about when we're dealing with the mental. But without further ado, Noble Brian, can we get our Moorish American prayer? And can we get how the BBT believes? If you don't mind, Noble.
Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Malakim, Ayah Ash'ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen, peace, 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 peace. And now for the scientific introduction to the divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle, including the Moor Salat. So, scientific study will illuminate the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, God, the creator of the stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490, BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic Tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah as he really is and his eternal purpose and plan. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, man made in the image of God, Allah, which is an acronym in more science for arm, leg, arm, head, to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the Bible. In research and study, we always use the true Hebrew names of the unity of the spirit of the so-called Godhead. Instead of the title, God, as the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahweh. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or Son's name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh, in super and corporal form. For the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim manifested in a physical body, we are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua the Messiah. These holy names may seem to be of private interpretation, which we, the Burning Bush Tabernacle, have invented, but through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages, neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. And therefore, such names as Jesus or Jehovah are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and Son. Here at the BBT, our aims are as follows. 1, to illuminate the student to find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and exists. 2, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua, the Messiah, without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. 3, to investigate the unexplained spirit law, or the so-called law of nature, and the powers latent in man. 4, to encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, and modern practical and occult science. 5, to remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. 6, to learn, to know, and to understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages. 7, to discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and his demons operating the mystery of iniquity on earth through the dispensations of time. 8, to earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons or children of Yahweh. 9. To make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given among men whereby man can be saved, saving the name Yahshua the Messiah. And last but not least, 10. To inherit eternal life, now in the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah, with the hope of immortal glorification in the new earth state. And with that, I say Islam, amen, and peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace. Gratitude for eloquently reading that, Noble Brian, as you do each week. I want to give gratitude and honor to all my brothers and sisters. I say Islam and love. Like I said, today is our Adapt class and our history class, where we teach more science and we teach real history and law, because our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. Our brother, noble minister, Dantes, when he was reading a book club yesterday about stumbling blocks and about things that we should use as motivation and perception. And a lot of people's perception can be totally off. A lot of people's perception can be totally off. Because me, as a God man, I'd rather be around people that make me great. I don't want to be around a lot of people that say everything is going to be okay, and I know I'm slacking, and I know I'm not being the best I can be. I know I'm not doing everything in my power to make sure I'm right, to make sure my temple right, to make sure everything that I'm doing is right. And a lot of times we have to shade a lot of stuff off, and a lot of men be afraid of growth. You're talking about being afraid to fail. A lot of men are afraid to succeed. See, these is keys. So with that being said, we're going to start off with a little more science, and then we're going to get into the teaching. I always like to give subtopics and then topics, because I teach in a circle. This should be embedded in our hippocampus. This should be embedded in our heads. I mean, just like we know rap songs, and we can memorize rap songs. I know a lot of us on here can remember so many rap songs. This stuff, this science, this history that I'm going to give, you should be able to regurgitate this. You should make time for everything that you love. Because if you're not working 24 hours in a day, you can't tell me you don't have time. You're just not prioritizing. This is application. A lot of people don't want to apply. They want to talk about it, but I don't want to hear a sermon. I want to see what I'm with my own eyes. I make time for what I love. I don't make excuses. I know people that make excuses. Us that's not locked up, we make more excuses than somebody getting ready to go to jail. Why can you do this? Why I can't do that? It's a reason. It's a reason why we can't do things, because we're not growing up in our spirituality. It's a reason why we can't save our money. It's a reason why we can't do certain things. And then we make so many excuses, because excuses are cliche. I tell everyone, excuses are cliche. Oh, I can't do this because of what? What are you doing? What are you wasting? What are you spending? Are you and your empress together in one household? This is what I talk about. It's very simple, because this is a unity. And unity becomes an identity, which means one mind, one body, and one spirit. So I don't care what religion you are, whatever religion that makes you good and makes you okay, I'm fine with that, because I know who I am, and I'm going to continue to teach. I tell my brothers and sisters all day, how can you say you know law and you know history, and you continue to call yourself Negro, Black, Colored, and African American, and those are misnomers. You continue to do these things that's synonymous to slave, that's synonymous to death. How can you call yourself I'm a black man and I know law, and according to science and law, black is dead, silver mortis, and black was never used to describe ethnicity in first century, so it's never a such thing as an ancient black. That's false. That's false. And the only people that's going to get reparations or some payout for misnomer black people, slaves, are the people that created them. If you don't know that, clearly you don't know history or law and civics. And whoever teaching you, they need a whooping, and they need to be put in time out. And I challenge you. I challenge your teacher. I challenge the ones that tell you that your freedom is connected to blackness. That's trash. I'm saying that that's trash. Every scholar, every educator, as I continue to teach and continue to remove myself from niggardly stuff and deal with people that deal with me, they laugh at black folk, misnomer black folk, like they just don't know. And they say that you right here teaching, you've been teaching this for years. It's sad. It's sad that our people still give pennies to things and spend it on other things. And I say, you still haven't prioritized your life still? So what you and your empress doing together, like, I say this all day. We have to have real conversations of who we are and what we're doing. So let's deal with it. Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. I've been saying this forever. These laws haven't changed. Does anybody know the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? Do anybody know that by heart right now? Do anybody? I'll wait.
Everyone has the right to a nationality. No one shall be arbitrarily denied of his nationality, nor denied the right to change his nationality.
See? Or the right to change it. And you sit up here and let these so-called people bore you to sleep with the dumb stuff. I said, man, come on. Are we going to continue to be dumb? Well, it don't matter. It does matter. So what you going to teach your baby? That he or she is a slave? That he or she is a Negro, black, or colored, and are African-American, and all those are misnomers synonymous to slavery? I've been teaching the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. I've been teaching the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, manumission. I've been teaching all this for years, and we still don't have confidence in who we are. We still don't have confidence in teaching this to our children, our babies. We still don't have confidence of wearing our turban, our fez, which is our national headdress, and our spiritual headdress. We still don't have confidence in that. But you see the European Jew. You see the misnomer Indian wearing his turban. You see the Islam Muslim wearing his kufi. Come on, man. That's why I said Negro, blacks, and colored are slaves. They have no rights that nobody have to obey by. These are facts. That's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. Everyone has a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. Now what they have to say about that? They don't got nothing to say about that. Because it's right in your face. In 1933, the Legislative Journal, the House Joint Resolution number 75, it reads, the resolution was read by clerk as follows. In the House of Representatives, April 17th, 1933, many sons and daughters of that proud and handsome race, which inspired the architecture of Northern Africa and carried into Spain, and carried into Spain, and carried into Spain, and carried into Spain. The influence of the artistic temperaments have been citizens of this nation. In the city of Philadelphia, there exists a Moorish American society made up of Moors who have found here the end of their quest for a home, and the children of those who journey here from the plains of Morocco, Africa. This society has done much to bring about a thorough absorption by these people of these principles, which are necessary to make them good American citizens. These Moorish Americans have since been here, missed the use of the titles and names, annexation. You don't get rid of your name your mama gave you. That's your coat of arms, your family crest. You annex your LLA to your name that were so familiar at home and which are used in accordance with the doctrines of the religious faith to which they are adherents. Therefore, be it resolved that this house commends the Moorish Americans. The Moorish Americans, not no Moroccans, the Moorish Americans. What make you a Moorish American? Because you was born here in America with Moroccan African descent. What's your nationality? Moorish American. What's your race? I choose to be Asiatic. What's my status? Free white. If you don't understand that, I know you don't. That's your fault. But American Society of Philadelphia, for the efficient service it has rendered the nation in bringing about a speedy and thorough Americanization, because we are Americans of these former Moors, and that in accordance with the fullest rights of religious independence. Full rights of religious independence, the religious right of the indigenous people. Research that. Somebody pull it up and tell me what the religious right of the indigenous people say after I finish reading this. Guarantee every citizen. We recognize also the right of these people to use the names affix El or Ali or Bey or any other prefix or suffix to which they have heretofore been accustomed to use, or which they may hereafter acquire the right to use. On this question, will the House adopt this resolution? Yes, it was adopted May 4th, 1933. 1933. Can somebody read me the religious rights of the indigenous people real fast? If you have it, I wait. You're supposed to have this. You're supposed to have this in your phone and your tablet. You're supposed to be able to shoot from the lip, not the hip. That's what I be telling people. What we studying? Clearly nothing. Clearly nothing. This should be able to come out of your mouth like a fire. Wow, wow, wow. Somebody give it to me. I wait. I wait while you look it up. You got the smartphone.
Gratitude.
Y'all still looking? Come on, we on Jeopardy. Do, 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 do. We still looking?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You see what I'm saying? This stuff's supposed to be saved. Fail the test. No disrespect to no one. I'm a teacher. I must teach. How can a person fail the test and I've been giving it to him? We should have to look it up. It should be stored.
It's just in my email.
I can hear you. The religious right of the indigenous people. You have the right to keep your mind in this. You have the right not to assimilate. You have the right to wear your headdress. You have the right to use public platforms to teach. You have the right to have your own teachers and write your own science. You have the right. You have the right. You have the right while we steady looking it up. You have the right. And if we can't spit this out, but we know everything else, then we need to study more. These are prerequisites. Say what, Empress? Slow down. Self-determination. What else, Empress? Spirituality. What else?
Nationality, right to change it.
Go ahead. Somebody was saying it. Go ahead.
Right to a nationality and right to change it.
Nah.
That's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. I'm talking about the religious rights of the indigenous people. I'm talking about the religious rights of the indigenous people. My Empress been reading it. We should have it. I done gave it. I just broke it down.
Gratitude.
That's why a lot of us are unsure in our abilities. That's why a lot of us are unsure in who we are, because we don't know. If you was in a court of law and they said, for the record, you talk about you got religious rights, well, what's the religious right of indigenous people? You ain't got time to look it up. You don't have to. That's why I said sometimes we don't have time to look it up. We're supposed to know it, or at least give it to me to break it down, where I can say, okay, I understand. It don't have to be verbatim, but you should have a clear understanding of what's in there. Am I right about it? Somebody talk to me. I'm waiting. Am I right about it, family?
It's on.
What I'm saying.
Long Chief.
I'm waiting for one of my brothers to give it to me. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. And I'm going to continue to wait. This is what I'll be saying. We can dress up with all this.
I can go up to top, Nova. You said like you said, you have the right. You have the right to practice your own herb. You have the right to your own headdress, your own garb. You have the right. They can't stop you from using whatever holistic practices or
you got the right to gather, not to assimilate.
Services you provide to your community.
That's right. That's right. They can't stop you from gathering. They can't stop you from having your own spiritual leader. That's right.
So many.
You should know this. It's the stuff that we should know. So when we be challenged by any man, any woman, we should be like, well, I don't know. Let me look it up. You can't spit nothing out. I tell somebody to give me one of Tupac lyrics. I bet you everybody on here know it. Picture perfect. I paint a perfect picture. I bet you we know that. I bet you we know that. I bet you we know it. Don't be my soul. Yeah, I know we do. We know that, but here it is.
Wow.
Our science is the stuff that we should know, the stuff that I give to study. We don't know it. These are called prerequisites. We cannot walk around and can't spit this off the top of our head. We cannot, because I'll laugh at anymore. Be like, I'll tell you to get out of my face. You don't know nothing. You can't even give it to me. You can't give me nothing. Then I'm going to break down what the mayor said, the proclamations. I said this a while ago. All the be saying, oh, well, how can you be an American and be a Moorish American? I said, man, I just gave you the religious rights. I just gave you a Declaration of Human Rights. I just gave you House Joint Resolution. What are we talking about? It's only misnomer Negroes that sit here and argue of their nationality and spirituality. My European Jews, they don't, because I'm their teacher. That's why I said I don't care about dealing with no Negroes. Excuse my candor. I have to say that. No matter if it's family, no matter if it's a so-called Moor, no matter if it's somebody with a Kufi, an Al-Islam Muslim, a Black Mason, I don't care. A Black Christian, put death on everything that you call Black. Dead religion, dead family, dead banks. Anytime you put Black at the front of something, it's dead. And then you have these religious people that try to say more mean Black. I said, clearly you're not educated. You call yourself a Black Hebrew Israelite. That's what I talk about. Because if that's the case, it'll mean Black or Black. In Spanish, negrito is Black. Negrito means Black in Spanish. Negrito. The Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim a child replaces the birth certificate. No one would be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. But you steady calling yourself Negro, Black, and Colored, and African American. All those are misnomers and synonymous to slave. You call yourself a Black man, we know law. Well, according to science and law, Black means death, silver mortis. I hope you don't know Latin. That's why. I know a lot of our brothers are uneducated, but you know what we'll do? Most Negroes will buy your book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you still a poor dad. I know people that have wrote books talk about, here go the 5 ways to sit at home on your rusty dusty and become rich. But I want to ask everybody, if you got that book, I bet you still poor, and I bet you still go to work every single day. Bet you. I bet you. And the person who wrote the book, damn sure ain't rich. But what we do, we take the same stupid stuff that the enemy do, and we throw that mess in our society. That's what's wrong with us. But see, I know the game. I know the game. And my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. Why? Because we refuse to learn. We refuse to learn. I just broke down the House Joint Resolution 75. Research it. Where we have the right to annex our L and Bay to our name. I just broke it down. I just broke down the religious rights of the indigenous people. I'm talking about law. The religious rights of the indigenous people, where you have the right to wear your hairdress, the right to have your own nationality, the right to have your own sheik, the right to use public access, the right to write your own books. That's why we can't be stopped. That's why we can't be stopped, because we are a real organization. We are a nation of brothers and sisters that know who we are. I don't care about family and friends not dealing with me. I don't care about family and friends not buying my books, because it's other people that support me. And I knew getting into this, that it's going to be God's people and human beings that deal with me. I didn't do this for my family. I didn't become a divine minister for my family. I didn't create a mypdfbooks.com, bindingbooks.com, morrishaberdasher.com. Alonzo didn't create ALO Design Pros for his family. Maso didn't create Herbs of Mayat for his family. He created that for the world. He created that because God gave him an ability and something for the world, and you got to use it. You can't be worried about your family and friends. Those are the ones that'll let you down. You got to understand that. That's why you got to be free, and you got to eliminate all anger. You have to. It's a must. If not, then you won't do your mission. I promise you that. I told you it's something that you must sacrifice. See, a prophet and an angel is no good in his own family. A prophet and angel must leave his own family, must leave his friends and go miles and miles away, and they show you exactly who you are. That's what I told people. I ain't worried about friends or family. I don't care. But I know what Negroes do. They chase money and they buy books thinking they going to magically be rich. But I want to know anybody that got Rich Dad, Poor Dad on this page right now. Anybody got Rich Dad, Poor Dad book? Tell me yes or no. Watch this. Anybody got Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Yes or no? Come on, talk to me. Do anybody got the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Yes or no? Everybody on mute. I'll wait.
I have Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay.
Now, if everybody got Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and with all those things in there, why we still Poor Dad? I'll wait. Because that book said these are the keys to do this, to do this, to do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, why everybody still Poor Dad? See, I'm not talking about nobody. I'm just making a point of emphasis. It ain't no magic in no book. It's the application. It ain't no one way to success. Well, I got to get that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, why you still poor dad? Well, why we ain't got a couple dollars? Well, why we don't? People be asking for more money and still spend more money. You got Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you don't have nothing. Because we're not creating. Because you think you're going to get so much out of a job. You're going to work so mad because you ain't important on a job. You should be important in real life. A job is what you trade hours for dollars. That's it. I don't give a damn about no job. A job couldn't pay me enough for who I am. I must continue to create. But you got all these Negroes with Rich Dad, Poor Dad and working all day. You working 5, 6, 8 jobs to do what? Spend more. But you still poor dad. And brothers writing these books, I'm going to show you how to sit at home and get rich. But how? What? You ain't creating nothing. These people ain't never had no businesses. Man, they work at Walmart. And they in a multi-level marketing scheme. See, I know the truth. And the truth gonna set you free. You can't come to me with that trash. You ain't created no businesses. You not no boss. You a scam artist. And when I was in my lower self, I act like a child. And when I became a man, I put away all childish ways. But it ain't no science, it ain't no key to success in no book. You can read the book all you want to and still be a poor dad. Period. And the world already told us who we were. Don't y'all got the mayor proclamations? I gave y'all this in 2012. I'm gonna read one of the proclamations. You can research this. This is free information. When I talk about the DOC number, the Free Information Act, and all that stuff is free. That's why I don't care about nobody supporting me. I support myself, and regular people support me. Like I was telling my soul, man, we don't have to bow down to nobody to use no facilities. Man, we got our own money. We use our own facilities. We pay. Just like the Prophet Noble Joel them did back in the day. They wasn't begging nobody to do nothing. They put their money together. Just like my European Jewish colleagues. They put their money together and they pull themselves up by their bootstraps. We don't need nobody to do nothing for us. We don't got to compromise our integrity for nobody. Man, please. Please. And I'm going to say it just like that. I ain't compromising who I am for nobody. Got me bent. You got me bent. Now, and this is in 2012. I'm going to read a couple of these proclamations, and then we're going to get into the teachings. Office of the Mayor, City of Chicago. The mayor back then was Rahm Emanuel. Proclamation. Whereas the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, Hamites, Canaanites, who were permitted by the old pharaohs of Kemet to traverse from East Africa and later formed themselves kingdoms extending from the northwestern and the southwestern shores of Africa, the Atlantic Islands, until the present-day continental Americas. And whereas the indigenous Moorish people of the Americas, yes, the Americas, but you going around calling yourself Negro, Black, and Colored, and African-American. James Baldwin told you, I'm not your Negro. But we still do that. Stupid. Are now united in order to again link themselves with the family of nations. And whereas the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America, has formed a sovereign, theocratic government guided by the command principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice through virtue of the universal rights to self-determination, as well as with the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People guaranteed in the Charter. And whereas on January 8th, 1886, Noble Drew Ali, but we act like we don't know. That's why I be saying, man, it's a laughing stock. We act like we don't know. Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina, destined to become the first patriot of his mentally enslaved Moorish American people. In 1912, he was later anointed as El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, that just means noble, by the heads of Egypt and holy city of Mecca to return to the United States as the last prophet and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans. As a result of the 13th Amendment, Moorish people were emancipated from slavery in 1865. Now, therefore, I, Rahm Emanuel, mayor of the city of Chicago, do hereby proclaim January 8th through the 15th, this was in 2012, to be Moorish American Week in Chicago, and urge all residents to recognize these events planned for this time, dated this 22nd day of December 2011. And you still today, in so-called 2014, act like we Negro, Black, and Colored, and African American. Our so-called educated scholars still playing with you. I like what Farrakhan say here and there, but Farrakhan know the truth. All you got to Mother's Day 2015, they tell you, when we talk about some fire Muhammad, I ain't dealing with no mystery, nothing. I'll go to another state. All you got to do is pull it up. The same thing, the proclamation. Now, therefore, I, Maryland Strickland, Mayor of the City of Tacoma, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of January 8th to 15th, 2012 as Moorish American Week. Yeah, I'll go another one, Moorish American Week. Here go another one. This the Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake designating January 8th and 15th. This was 2012 as Moorish American Week. Where? In Baltimore. Therefore, I, Stephanie Rawlings Blake, Mayor of the City of Baltimore, do hereby proclaim January 8th and 15th, 2012 as Moorish American Week in Baltimore, and do urge all citizens to join this celebration. Yeah, I said it. You want another one? We can keep going. What state is this? Let's see. I, Jim Suttle, Mayor of the City of Omaha, do hereby proclaim January 8th and 15th, 2012, Moorish American Week. Here we at the city of Fayetteville. But now you got all these goofy sovereign citizens, which is an oxymoron. You can't be no sovereign and no citizen at the same time with these militia Negroes with feathers on. That's a whole oxymoron. With them talking about they want to expatriate from this de facto government, you a fool too. I'm saying it. You are a fool with the fez on. You're going to be in jail just like the European militia, but you just a Negro with a fez on. That's all. You're going to be locked up right next to them. I start giving names. I start giving all names. These Negroes, this is not their name. They making up fake names. Period. The city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. I, Anthony G. Chavon, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim January 8th to 15th, 2012, Moorish American Week. You got North Carolina, Moorish American Week. Moorish American Week. The City Council official. You got Moorish American Week. The City of Tyler by Honorable Barbara Bass, the Mayor. Moorish American Week. You got the City of Little Rock, Moorish American Week by the Mayor. Come on, man. I can go on and on. Proclamation affirming Moors are Aboriginals. Many active and conscious Moorish Americans across the North Continent, which is America, have been consistent and dedicated in our duties and responsibilities to answer up to the Constitution principles in exercising our unalienable rights and our own divine birthrights. Moors have been working to take our place in the affairs of men. On December 22nd, 2011, Ramel Emanuel, Mayor of Chicago, published a proclamation that affirmed that Moors are the Aboriginal and indigenous people of North America, South America, Central America, and the adjoining islands. To the date, 7 other city officials have proclaimed this very same proclamation. In our city of Flint, Michigan, the Moorish Science Temple of America is on Martin Luther King Avenue, the oldest religious and spiritual building that's in the city. And right now, I'm saying it because I don't care. I ain't on nobody's team. I'm on my own team. I'm on God's team, and it ain't active. You can pull up the Moorish American MSTA, and it ain't active. As soon as the building go up for foreclosure, I'm buying it. Point blank. Because Negroes be lying. They don't even pay the back taxes. Don't y'all know the city taxes on houses ain't nothing, and Negroes been lying forever? See, I can start saying names. Family be lying, but they be losing their house on back taxes because they don't want to pay no bills. You lose a house for $600. Man, go on with that crap. Go on with those lies. And if you jump on my page, if you say something to me, I'm going to tell it all. Point blank. Negroes been lying for over 20 years. That's why public perception ain't no good. Am I right about it? Talk to me. I know I'm right about it. I know I'm right about it. So now, as we jump into the main topic, what are 4 paths to forgiveness? 4 paths to forgiveness. Number 1, you must uncover your anger. And in our culture, anger is often hidden unless it explodes in full-blown rage. I told one of my cousins this a long time ago in the city. Something happened to him, and he may be doing certain things, and I said, you ain't addressed what happened to you. You covered it up. You got to address what happened to you. I don't care if it's old. If somebody did something to you and they abused you and they did you wrong, call it out. Call it out, because that's the only thing that's going to heal you. And see, I'm done covering up for people. See, people being abusing people when they was kids and then think now you grown and smile in people's face. You got to call it out. You got to call it out. It's going to make you better. I promise you this. That's why I call it out. Negro been lying for 20 years, your own family. Like my mom said, this is your story. This ain't no shade. They shouldn't have done it. I call it out. And now I bite that head off. Excuse my candor. It's just what it is. But I know how to forgive. And forgiving ain't for you. Forgiving is for me. Forgiving is for me. Decide to forgive if someone hurt you deeply. You probably aren't ready to just let it go. And I ain't telling you just to let it go. I'm telling you to call it out, stand your ground, and work on forgiveness. And I used the approach called reframing. Reframing. And number 4, last but not least, you must release from your emotional prison. Thinking, I'm bad because this happened to me. Ain't nothing bad. You a survivor. I did a sermon when I was in the Christian church called Scars, Scabs, and Wounds. You must be ready to face that. You must be ready to face that head on. That's your story. If don't nobody like it, they shouldn't have done it. Don't nobody like your story, they shouldn't have done it. Point blank. You mad at me? So what? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell the truth, shame the devil. And there's been times when each and every one of us has needed to forgive. It's been times. The quality of human life on our planet is nothing more than the sum total of our daily interactions with one another. These facts, each time we help and each time we harm, we have a dramatic impact on our world because we are humans and some of our interactions will go wrong and then we will hurt or be hurt or both. It is the nature of being human and it's unavoidable. But forgiveness is the way we set the interactions right. It's the way we mend tears into social fabric. It is the way we stop our human community from unraveling. There are countless studies to use, spiritual, psychological, and even psychoanalysts. It's benefits of forgiveness. The actual process of forgiveness, however, has often been left a mystery. But see, here at the BBT, we have the key. Because why? We must feed off each other, and we don't want to heal you disappear. See, I know Negroes that been in our cipher. I ain't got to say the name. You know it. They don't want to heal, or they drunkard ways, or they abusive ways, or they lack of saving their money, so they disappear. And I say, you better disappear from me. You better disappear, because that's your lower self. Like somebody want to pat you on the back like it's going to be all good. No, it ain't going to be all good. It's not going to be all good. And the path of forgiveness is not an easy one. It's just like if you are drunk or alcoholic or abuse drugs or any type of abuse, the first thing you must understand is you got a problem. And on this path, you must go through the muddy shoals of hatred, anger, and make your way through grief and loss to find the acceptance that is hallmark of forgiveness. When I lost my brother, Akil Jelani Goodman Bay, I was hurt. I was mad at every Negro. I still don't trust Negroes because Negroes don't know who they are. It's just a fact. Our own people, we have family members that's doing things that other people do, and you watch other people support them clowns. Support them clowns. But I ask everybody, are you rich yet? Are you rich yet buying a book from somebody that said you can sit at home and make money? That's a lie. What business you have? I can continue to wait while these Negroes go to work. I heard a Negro, I'm trying to raise money how to write a book. I don't need to raise no money how to write no book. Put the book out, smart guy. While it would be much easier to make this journey if the route were marked clearly, but it's not. A lot of people be asking God, I want it easy. I don't ask God to make it easy. I ask God to give me the abilities to navigate. I don't want no easy life. And there's a boundary line between those who have caused harm and those who have been harmed. And it's not clear either. I know this. These are keys. But you can't bury it because it's going to come back and bite you. I know this for a fact. I know this. Nobody can deny what I'm saying. These is keys. And if you are seeking forgiveness, I hope to point the way to freedom. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm not going to give you too many keys. I'm just going to give you a little tittle of what it is. Because our nature is goodness. We do much that is bad, but our essential nature is good. And if we were not, we would not be shocked and dismayed when we harm one another. When someone does something ghastly, it makes the news because it is the exception of the rule. We live surrounded by so much love, kindness, and trust that we forget is remarkable. That's why I surround myself around love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents, health and wealth. I don't deal with negativity. I cut that off a long time ago. Forgiveness is the way we return what has been taken from us and restore the love and kindness and trust that has been lost. That's why we work out every day. One of my homies said, ain't no way I'm going to go to the gym wasting my money, and you a personal trainer, and you grind every day, and you ripped up like the subway in Harlem. Everybody want that little magic pill. What's that pill again called, babe? I forget the name of the pill. Y'all know the pill, but you don't want to work. And y'all seeing real results in your face. With each act of forgiveness, whether small or great, we move towards what? Wholeness. Forgiveness is nothing less than how we bring peace to ourselves and our world. See, these is keys. These is keys. In our science, we choose to seek forgiveness rather than revenge. The choice averted a bloodbath. Because all the things that people been lying on me for 20 years, especially my brothers, it's easy for me to rip your head off because I know nobody can whip me. I'm a lion in the jungle. I can defend myself. And I'll leave everything on the line. I know can't nobody see me. And so I avoid bloodbath. I know I'll knock somebody out because I train to do that. Not to hurt nobody, but to stand my ground. And for every injustice, it's a choice. We choose how to do things, our perception of things. That's why I'm going to tell my truth. And tell the truth, shame the devil, because you shouldn't have done it. And I choose forgiveness. Or you choose revenge. But revenge is always costly. Choosing forgiveness, rather than retaliation, ultimately serves to make a stronger and freer person. It make you freer. I choose to forgive and I stay away. I choose to forgive and stay away and never go back to that. That's why peace always comes to those who choose forgiveness. That's why you always hear me saying peace, 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 peace. That's why you always see me in nature, working out, grinding, being to myself, because I don't need to be around nobody. I think clearly. I'm a boss. I said it. I'm a boss. I don't need no substance. I don't need no marijuana. I don't need no alcohol. I don't need none of that. I ain't saying none of that is bad, but I don't need it. I let it go. See how it corrodes and destroys from the inside out. We also see the sweet balm of forgiveness soothe and transform even the most virtuous and the most violent situations. This is why we can say there's hope. When I go places, people be like, man, I see a cloud over you, a halo. That's just my Holy Spirit. That's just my whole, I done been battle tested. I done been through the fire. And the only way out the fire is through the fire. Just like my European colleagues that I help, and their kids I help become A students in college. I got family member kids getting ready to go to college and don't know that I'm the map and the guide. Don't know that I'm a scholar. Don't know that I got all the books that your kids need in their academia study while they're going to use their financial aid or their money to buy books that I already have. I already have 1 million books. I have it. You don't know nobody that's a scholar and an educator in our family. But we like niggertainment. Ooh, look at the niggertainment. Ooh, look at the niggertainment. So what? Nobody care about no niggertainment. We don't, and we do not enter onto the path of forgiveness blindly. Nor do we travel without some, how can I say, guilt on us for forgiving. Because forgiveness is a conversation. And like most important conversation, it needs a language that is clear and honest and sincere. And when I speak, I'm clear and honest and sincere. I don't care who like it. I don't care. I'm like a lion. I defend by myself. And I lay my life down for everything I believe on. Don't care. I give science. That's why I always offer meditations. I always offer exercise. I always offer rituals to guide us and help us as we walk along the path. What do you do for forgiveness of yourself? We read the books. Noble Dantes was reading the book in class about obstacles, but how do we apply that in our life? How do we apply it in our life? Because it can't just be words written on the page. It can't be. It can't be. Especially I'm in a household with my woman and my baby, and I ain't God to my woman. I ain't God to my children. What's the mission? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about self. Do y'all know what UNTU mean? It's a South African or African. It's a word, but it's an understanding. UNTU. Ubuntu is our way of making sense of the world. And it literally means humanity. Humanity is the philosophy and understanding that a person is only a person through what? Other people. In other words, we are human only in relation to other humans. Our humanity is bound up in one another. And any tear in its fabric or any tear in its fabric of connection between us must be repaired for us all to be made whole. See, I don't need nothing. I just need to be made whole. See, when I speak on things, I don't got to say names. This is my story. This is my autobiography. What's yours? That's how you heal. It's an interconnectedness. It's the very root of who you and I are. And to walk the path of forgiveness is to recognize that your crimes harm you as they harm me. To walk the path of forgiveness is to recognize that your dignity is bound up in your dignity. And every wandering and every wrongdoing hurts us all. See, these is keys. Even when we recognize our interconnectedness, for forgiveness can still be a difficult path to walk. Some days it will seem as if for every one step forward, we take 2 steps back because you ain't forgave yourself and you ain't asked the people that you did that crap to forgive you. See, I told you, people lied for years. My mom and dad tell like, man, that man been lying for over 20 years. Yep. I be waiting for somebody to say something. And I know people that have done stuff to other people, that have abused kids. Dog, you need to ask for forgiveness today, right now, because God knows what you did, and the people you did it to know. And therefore, the beginning of the new journey, big or small, there must be willingness to make that fit, that tentative step forward. See, these are facts. These are facts, and we know this. It's a willingness to be transformed. You must be willing to be transformed. Before forgiveness, there must be the willingness to consider forgiveness. That's why the Bible says you must be transformed with what? The renewing of your mind. You can't build on rubble. You got to get a flush and field and reboot your hard drive. Even if you believe there is no way you could ever forgive, or you believe that what you have done is so heinous you could never be forgiven. Well, you ain't asked for forgiveness. You just put a Band-Aid on it. I invite you to take this journey with us at the BBT, a group of men and women that's continued to heal. We're not putting Band-Aids on things. We're addressing all issues. We invite you on this journey. Here go a prayer before the prayer. What you say, Sheik? Yeah, here go my prayer before a prayer. I want to be willing to forgive, but I dare not ask for the will to forgive in case you give it to me, and I am not yet ready. I am not yet ready for the heart to soften. I am not yet ready to be vulnerable again. Not yet ready to see that there is humanity in my tormentor's eyes, or that the one who hurt me may also have cried. I am not yet ready for the journey. I am not yet interested in the path. I am at the prayer before the prayer of forgiveness. So grant me the will to want to forgive. Grant it to me, not yet, but soon. You see? Can I form the words, forgive me? That's the question. Dare I even look? That's another question. Do I dare to see the hurt I have caused? That's another question. I can glimpse all the shattered pieces of that fragile thing, that soul trying to rise on the broken wings of hope, but only out of the corner of my eye. I am afraid of it. And if I am afraid to see, how can I not be afraid to say, forgive me? Is there a place where we can meet, you and me, the place in the middle the no man's land, there we straddle the lines where you are right and I am right too. And both of us are wrong and wronged. Can we meet there and look for the place where the path begins, the path that ends when we forgive? See? All journeys must be provision. Your journey, my journey, requires two objects to support our healing. We got to understand this. We got to understand this. See, I study all the laws and the prophets. That's Desmond Tutu. I study all the laws and the prophets. I must, as an adapt. I must. That's why I'm welcome in all houses. That's why I said a prophet and an angel is no good in your own country. You're not good in your family house. You're not good with your friends and your cousins and all that. You ain't no good with them. It's okay. Let them go to others and see their lives still be in shambles. When their kids go to college and all that, they can't even help them. I know this. So I'm just going to touch on a few. What my brother said, he said, man, continue to teach and preach. I love you too, brother. And gratitude for the donations and gratitude for your support from your family. One of my brothers I went to high school, man, just bought all my books. And he was like, man, you the one. And I give you gratitude for accepting me. Because nobody have to. So let's deal with a little science. When I talk about that mental technology. When I talk about that mental technology. Yep, I'm almost done. Yep. What is mental technology? In brief, mental technology is the science of the mind. Mental technology describes the principles of law that govern the way the mind works. And you don't even know how your mind works. You don't even know your blood type. You don't even know how to get in good shape. Your mind, my mind, and every other human being's mind. Just as there are physical laws that describe the way the phenomena operates on the physical plane, so there are mental laws or principles that describe how mental phenomena operates. When I talk about psychomacy, when I talk about how the mind works, when I talk about health and wealth, knowing what is food and what's poison. I ain't say, like for instance, when people say, oh, I like pork. I ain't say pork it don't have a nice taste, but it's not food because that pork and how it's raised and what's in the pig and what's in the pork, it attached to women and it produces cancer. You can be mad at you won't, but I'm telling you the truth. I know this for a fact. Man, I'm trained in what, and I'm educated. Even when I deal with the autistic kids, I'm educated in this. I said, well, when you're dealing with a kid that's autistic and when you're dealing with a kid that may not speak at a young age, the first thing you got to do is have discipline. The first thing got to be a set of rules to show them how to put on their clothes, to show them how to share things. Basic principles is basic principles first. That's why I help others. That's why others say, man, you a mapper and a guide, because I have a profession and I have a ministry. I don't care if nobody pay me. I have a ministry. God anoints me. That's why now I'm getting paid a lot for little work. I understand it. And we let people misdiagnose. We let people give our children pills. And then we feed them poison and give them a tablet so they can be busy all day. And I'm not talking about nobody. This is my profession. I'm educated in this. In other words, and I'm anointed. In other words, a law is an impersonal sequence of events that is not dependent on the person or people involved in that sequence of events. What are some examples you may ask? The law of gravity. The law of gravity is an impersonal law and is always operating. And according to this law, if a person jumps off a 10-story building, he or she will immediately fall to the ground. See, that's law. There ain't no exceptions to this law or principle. It doesn't matter if you are the president of the United States, a damn cashier at a local store, or a famous pop star. It doesn't matter. It don't matter if you're having a good day or a bad day. That's law. You see? I know this. Another important thing about law is that it is an operation, whether you know it or not. If you jump off these buildings, you're going to fall. The law of sowing and reaping. The law of sowing and reaping. The law of cultivation, of planting seeds and harvesting crop. In your Bible, what is Ecclesiastic chapter 3 and 9? It's the time to do this. It's the time to do that. Read it. Of all my so-called Christians. I know you don't study the scriptures. You just make little memes on the internet. I know this for a fact. That's why lives still in shambles, and we buy books, think we finna make some money. But all the books you bought to talk about to make some money, I bet you still broke, and I bet you go to work every single day. Tell me I'm lying. Every farmer knows that if he plants potatoes, he's not going to get a crop of strawberries. He knows that the type of seed he plants determines the type of harvest he can expect. He knows if he plants cabbage, he won't get roses, and he does not expect otherwise. How can you expect righteousness and you ain't doing nothing? How can you expect blessings and blissness and you don't put nothing in? How? How can you have love and you don't exude love? He doesn't take this fact personally because he knows it's the what? Impersonal law. And the other important thing a farmer knows is that in order to have harvest, in order to have a crop, he or she must plant something first. You must plant something first. In other words, he or she cannot harvest something from nothing. That's why I said the first thing we don't know finances. We don't know financial literacy and how to budget what we have. I know this for a fact. I know this. I know Negroes work 60, 80, 1,000 hours. Their wife will work 60, 80, 1,000 hours and still broke. Why? Because how you spending your money. See, I know this for a fact. And my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. The most Christians I see on the internet complaining. All the women use an AI filter. Am I fat with this on? You fat without it on. Excuse my candor. I'm just keeping it 100. And ain't no such thing as no magic pill. The law of cause and effect. Just as a farmer knows he or she must plant a seed in order to harvest something, he or she also knows that nothing comes from nothing. Y'all heard the song, nothing from nothing is nothing. You ain't gonna get nothing out of it. That's why I say the internet is fake. The internet is fake. We won't work out like one of my European colleagues that work out with me, and I send them the training videos. They send me $100 a month for my training videos. They in top shape. They say, you got the key. But everybody want a magic pill. I'm on the internet. I'll say names, but I'm going to save your embarrassment. Because I ain't embarrassed. You don't want to put it on the internet. You don't want to put all of your business on the internet. Then talk about people in my business. Well, get it off the internet. It's only women on there talk about, yeah, I want a magic pill. Have you used the magic pill? Y'all want a magic pill where your head can be big as heck. There has to be something to produce something, but nobody want to work. I call y'all shake error. Just put yourself in the microwave and you think you're going to come out and be something. It must be a seed before a plant can grow. This means that in order to have something, something must cause it to happen. And we call this law the law of cause and effect. A lot of people my age, diabetes, high blood pressure, talk about you got that from your mama. No, you got that from them bad eating habits. And you passing that down to your kids. What? You like chitlins. Man, they ate chitlins back in the day because they ain't have nothing else to eat. You don't supposed to get that crap to your babies because a slave found out how to season some dumb chitlins. Are you crazy? And we get that to our children. Slave food? Because you know how to season it up and give all these foodborne diseases to your babies. High blood pressure, diabetes, that's from what you eat and drink. Point blank, play the game with me if you want to. You being misdiagnosed by people that's not even under your same science. Do you think a polar bear and a black bear have the same chemical makeup? No, they can't eat the same food. They'll die. Don't you understand that? The law of cause and effect says you cannot have an effect without a cause. You cannot have an effect without a cause. And these people say, I'm big and I'm fat because you older. That's a lie. You big and you fat because you eating all them crab boils. Now, don't get mad at me. If you want to harvest radishes, you must plant a radish seed. If you want to get in shape, you must first plant the get in shape seed. That means get off your rusty dusty. You can't drink a shake and magically lose weight. That's false. You cannot harvest radish from no thin air. I'm a herbalist. This is what I do. I'm a scientist. I'm an educator. I'm a guide. I'm a sheep. I'm an adapt. I'm a divine minister. And I'm a businessman. But I want to know all y'all that get bought that book to talk about you can sit at home and it's 5 magical ways to become rich. I bet you ain't none of y'all rich. I bet you ain't none of y'all rich. None of y'all. Not one person. Come on my page with that trash if you want to. I'm going to start saying names. And another important aspect of this law is that the effect always has the characteristics of the cause. In other words, the effect is the result of the cause. So a farmer knows that if he harvests radishes, he must have planted them. A farmer don't go around saying the reason I'm harvesting radishes is because I planted no stupid strawberries. So what I'm saying, y'all, we can determine the nature of the cause by examining the effect. Why? The cause of you having bad habits and being big is what? Because we know that they must have the same characteristics. All I see on the internet is people eating. I ain't seeing nobody working out. I ain't seeing nobody grinding. Another good example of basic law or principle that most people are familiar with is the law of color. That's why I stopped deleting men and women. I see men and women talking about this, talking about the Christianity, the white man. That's a lie. You don't understand. You've been taught wrong. The Bible ain't no white man book. Excuse my candor. The Bible ain't no religious book neither. You've been lied to. But I bet you when your black bleep died, I bet you have your eulogy at a Christian church, and I bet the person that do your eulogy gonna be a Christian pastor. Play with me if you want to. I know this for that. Well, all these Negroes be this and stuff. Talk about this is the white man this is the white man this. You crazy. You don't have a clear understanding. And God didn't write no Bible or no Quran. Man did. That's a fact. The law of color. Everyone has been to art school, knows that there is a law that governs color. Why? Yellow and blue makes green. That's why. And for example, when you mix blue, yellow, you always get green. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're having a good or a bad day. When you mix blue and yellow, the result is green. You are not going to get red, no matter who you are or what you do. And again, it's because the law governs the color spectrum and an impersonal physical phenomenon. That's why when I tell my brothers and sisters, black goes to light. It ain't no other way. It's no other way. I don't care how many books you buy. Talk about I'm going to go in shape. You ain't applying it. I don't care how many books. Yep, I bought the book now. But the person that wrote the book, they not rich. And what person that's rich going to show you how to get rich in their field? It'll flood the market. That's lies. I know this, but that's all Negroes want. They think it's a secret trick. They think it's a magic pill. Well, it ain't one. And the person that wrote the book, you a fraud. There ain't no truth in you. Now, how about that? It's not something that just suddenly went into operation because you started going to art school. I'm going to bring another point. Law have always existed. Physical laws, such as those that I described, always existed. They don't just suddenly happen or begin operating because someone discovered them. Always happen. And another phenomenon we call electricity. According to Webster's Encyclopedia, the unabridged dictionary of the English language, electricity is, and I quote, eloquently with a silver tongue, the fundamental physical agent caused by the presence and motion of electrons, protons, and charged particles manifest itself, attraction, repulsion, luminescence, and heating effects. Just like when I talk about 666, and these religious Christians, no disrespect, talk about that's the devil. Well, clearly you don't understand metaphysics and science, because that's 6 protons, that's 6 neutrons, that's the 6 electrons, the chemical makeup of man. You don't know that? You don't know that because you lost, because you playing. What you say, brother? I got to keep gratitude and thanks for the donations, brother. This physical phenomenon has always existed. That's why I ask a person, do you want the light switch? Or do you want the electricity, or do you want the source? A whole bunch of people that don't understand science will pick the light switch. Well, I'm the electricity. Let me cut your power off. You see? We always have electricity. We're not no cavemen. We're not no Neanderthal. The phenomenon and then explains how to utilize it before mankind. You got to know how to utilize these powers. But you don't bought a book to talk about you can sit at home on your rusty dusty 5 ways to sit on your butt to become rich. And I keep asking people that got the book. Y'all know who got the book. Are you rich yet? Are you rich yet from reading the book? Are you rich yet? Did you apply all the stuff in the book? And after rich yet? Or are you going to work every day? You working 35 jobs and you still poor as hell? Are you rich yet? After you took that magical pill and made you lose a whole bunch of weight and your head big, are you in good shape? No. No. And just as there are physical laws that describe and govern the behavior of physical phenomena, so there are mental laws that describe and govern the behavior of the mental phenomena. But my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. They just want something to make them feel good. They don't want to support nothing. Well, I get support from everybody else. And we about to go to the stratosphere. All my European colleagues, all my Jewish colleagues, all the college professors and the college students support everything that I do. Period. I done helped so many college students graduate. I done helped so many people understand, and they don't look like me. I got Europeans that want to be part of my science, and they are. Albions, Trinodytes, whatever you want to call them, and they are. Because I'm a Mac and a God, and I'm Melchizedek in the flesh. They don't have a problem supporting this ministry. Because my Jewish colleagues, they say, man, they split their money 3 ways. You think success is a whole bunch of material things. That ain't success. All that crap depreciate. Don't nobody care about the car that you driving or the dumb clothes that you wearing. You ain't creating nothing. So, simply because most human beings are not yet aware of these mental laws and how they operate, it does not mean that they don't exist. You just don't understand it. The mental laws, they exist. And since they exist, they must be existing and operating right here and now, whether we are aware of them or not. You got to understand this. Throughout the whole history of the world, it have been people who have known about these mental laws. That's why I put it in practice. The study of metaphysics, as well as much philosophy and religion, is an attempt to explore and describe these mental laws. Because law governs all events. It's quite certain, my brothers and sisters, that the study of mental laws is not yet taught in no school, anywhere. I teach it. But it soon will be. Why? As I continue to be put on the pedestal, as I continue to travel all over and teach in colleges, as my other people that follow me, that's part of my ministry, say, why you steady dealing with poor Negroes? Excuse my candor. They say they gonna go drink and have crab boils. You asking people for small donations and they can't give that. Let them Negroes go. No disrespect. And when it happens, the study of mental laws will drastically and dramatically change life on this earth plane. You don't have to be dead. Negroes say, oh, when I die, this and other. When you die, you dead. But the Bible says the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. Who told you you had to die for righteousness? A religious fool. A religious fool got you on your knees. Talk about some kumbaya. Me come by here. No, it don't. It means stand up and arise. The kum, the ba, and the ya. And everybody on here been taught that kumbaya mean come by here and do what? That's a lie. That's false. I'm an educator. The kum, the ba, and the ya. You better do some more research. But my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. Why? Because they refuse to learn. And then we teach our kids the same lies. And the other thing about this discovery of mental laws is that once we recognize the existence, we got to start using them. I'll give you an analogy. What's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15? You got a right of a nationality and a right to change it. No one will be arbitrated out of a nationality and the right to change it. And the claim of child replaces the birth certificate. That's the law. What's the religious right of the indigenous people? You got the right to not assimilate with others. You got the right to have your sheep. You got the right to write your own books. You got the right to wear your own religious culture. You got the right to wear your headdress. You got the right to write your own books. You got the right to use public access. What did the House Joint Resolution 75 says? I've been breaking these laws down forever, but the only one that don't get it is dumb Negroes. I'm saying it like that because Negroes think they're black, African American, Negro, and all those are manumissions, synonymous to slavery. The Dred Scott Law was never abolished. And you talk about Black Lives Matter. To who? And the only one that's ever going to get paid for Black lives, and that's going to get paid, is the person that created niggas. Excuse my candor. See, these is facts. This is law. And according to science and law, black means death. So put death on everything you call black. The laws governing electricity have to be discovered before this power could be directed for the benefit of mankind. All my professors, all my Jewish colleagues call me the electric. All of them. They be like, man, let me just touch a remnant of you. So I'm okay with my people not knowing who I am. Because they lost. They too busy talking about what P. Diddy done. And I talk about public perception. That man ain't been charged with no crime yet. But you got grown, old Negroes talking about some P. Diddy. The internet's stupid. But what you did, what your cousin did, what somebody you know did, they did some of the same crap P. Diddy did. I know Negroes, they baby mama was 14, 15, and they was grown men. And we ain't talking about no common law. Because I understand common law back in the day. I understand common law. Ask Big Mama back in the day when she was only 15 and granddad was this age. That was common law. I understand science. But Negroes be just on the internet faking the fun. I'm like, man, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. These laws must be recognized and understood before we can harness this power for the benefit of all mankind. And once we do, these laws will have access to what I call your mental technology. But see, a lot of men, their mental health is in shambles. I use the words of Nas. A lot of grown men, NBCs, are living their second childhood. They sleeping on their kids' couch. They got a whole bunch of tennis shoes. They on the internet talk about this and that and the other, and the white man this, and which I don't believe in none of that. They're trying to tell you something. The Creator created all man. The bluebird, the blackbird, the redbird. The Creator created this smart guy. Hate comes from your hometown. I got more European, Albion, Trinidadites, whatever you want to call it, that support me than my own people. I'm going to say it. I got more European Jews that support me than any of my family and friends. And I love them. Because my people know my voice. I'm going to say it. No supremacy. Ain't no such thing as no supremacy. You got these Negroes that's painting a false image of Christ. The European image is just as bad as the Negro image. See, our people, they don't even study the correct way, making false images. Ain't nobody never seen the Creator. How can a man say they love God but never seen him, but hate their brother every day, that exude those attributes? You a lie and ain't no truth in you. Period. You on your knees. Get off your knees. God and man is one. And the closest place to find God in your heart, the Islam that think he's going to get all these virgins when he died, is the same goofball, excuse my candor, as the Christian that think he's going to die and go to heaven. You talk about the devil and Lucifer. Lucifer is the morning star. It's your hippocampus. Don't you know that? It's the higher and lower self. But you let these people that's not educated and anointed tell you about spirituality. In the Bible, in Titus, it said this qualifications to be a pastor, to be a teacher, to be a rabbi, to be a Buddha, to be a medicine man, to be a shaman, to be a sensei, to be a sheep. Not no idiot. Not no idiot that's not a scholar, that's not well-versed. And as you know it doesn't do you much good to just buy a fancy computer and put it on your desk. To make this high-tech piece of equipment work for you, you must have the right software. See? In other words, hardware without software is pretty useless. I don't care how many books you got. I don't care how many Rich Dad books you got. I don't care how many books you bought from me. You ain't applying it, and you damn sure don't know what you're reading. Why? Because you ain't used to reading. I know most people got a third grade a reading level. I know this for a fact. You can't be mad at me. What do you do all day? Nothing. I know Negroes know more about sports and hip-hop stuff than their own spirituality. I know people that got more money in the closet than they invest in what's real. And if we apply this analogy to ourselves, we could say our hardware is our mind. Now, everyone has a mind. Like my noble Alonzo said, everyone has a cup. But what's inside your cup? My cup runneth over with what the Holy Spirit. Why? Because the Holy Spirit does the teaching. But before you or anyone else can use your mind effectively and harness this power for your own and other people's benefit, you must have the right software. And a lot of people don't. Understanding mental laws is the software. With this knowledge in your hand, in your presence, you will be able to run your mind. You don't need no hallucinating drugs. You don't need none of that. In other words, you will be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. That's what the scripture says. You will be able to direct that power of your mind in any way you want. That's how I astroplane in all different areas. It's the power of my mind It ain't the power of no substance. Please. I am the substance. I am the electricity. Not many people have the necessary software. You must have a map and a guide. I'm a map and a guide in the flesh. That's the software. I am the software. The understanding of mental laws, which is required to make your hardware, which is your mind, work for you. So now I'm going to take a look at how it works for us. I'll give you a little, the law of cause and effect. I told you this. Thought is the cause. Events are the effect. Whatever you think affects your outcome. You think you poor, you think you ugly, yep, that's who you are. Our thoughts are creating our reality and not vice versa. This is the most fundamental of all mental laws. This is the law that the wise have forever proclaimed. Just as no scientist can explain why physical laws, such as the law of gravity, exist, so no one can explain why mental laws exist. Because all laws, both mental and physical, have been discovered by means of what? Observation. That's why I say law governs all events. In other words, by observing how phenomena behave, this holds true for both mental and physical laws. We learn of their existence by watching the ways in which the world around us manifests itself. Thus the wise, thus the sages like myself and others, we discovered by observation that thought is the cause. Events are the effect. And most people think the external world is the objective reality, which exists outside of and separated from you and I. But as a result of this belief, because right under the word belief is a word called belie, believing in things that you can't prove. And most people are under the spell of a belie. Many people think they are victims of external events and circumstances that are beyond my control. Or the reason why I'm fat and all this, because my mama know you fat because you're cause and effect. You out of shape because you're cause and effect, because all you do is have crab boils. But this is not the case. The so-called external events are an effect of a cause. And this cause is thought. Yep, thought. You done thought about how to be nothing. You already done thought about how to be nothing. You already thought about how to be out of shape. Look, remember when we examined this physical law? Remember how we found that it's possible to have an effect without a cause? It's impossible. It's impossible to have an effect without a cause. Remember when you understand that no event or phenomenon can occur without a cause. You got to understand that. Everything and anything must come from somewhere. Empress, what time is it? The absolute. Contemplating. The absolute. You say what? Contemplating. The absolute means contemplating the one creative force that is the first cause of everything that exists. And when we do this, we discover that all we know about reality is that it is consciousness or awareness. So we can also call the absolute the consciousness or the awareness of the universal mind, aka your hippocampus. We discover that reality is consciousness or awareness, and it follows logically that we ask ourselves, what does consciousness do? When we ask this question, we discover that one of these, that consciousness or mind can do is think. Thinking is a natural activity of the mind. Understand this. The personal, but in terms of our personal experience of this absolute reality, well, that's a different story, my brothers and sisters, because again, thought is the causative factor, but in terms of our individual lives, our thoughts are only determine our experience of this greater reality. Our thoughts cannot change the absolute reality, but as we discover through observation or thoughts outline, they delineate or limit the one absolute reality and make it into our experience of reality. When I tell brothers and sisters, you can't just get in shape watching me. You gotta be involved. You gotta change your relationship with food and what you drink. See, this is a fact. These are facts. Law number 2, the law of free will. Once you know and understand that thought is the causative factor that thought is the reason or cause behind everything that you experience, you will understand why it's so important to learn to think correctly. You must think correctly. You are the only thinker in your mind, which means that no one else can think for you. This is the most wonderful discovery that anyone can ever make. It is the key to freedom, the high road, your ability to choose what you are going to think about what makes you a free individual. Thank you for the donation, brother. Yep, it's Cash App $KG, babe. Yep. And if you could not think for yourself, you could not be free. No one else can get into your mind and think for you. Think about this, as my noble Brian Hicks said on his album, The Transportation of Raw Materials. Think about it. Wrap your mind around it. People can use force on the outer plane to coerce other people to try to do or say many things. Like a lot of people in their lower self, they lies, they try to go around people and make a lie sound so good. But bring it to me. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. But no one can get into another person's mind and think for them. Once you understand this, you will never again be able to say you are thinking as you, because the government says you must, or because your husband says you must, or because your mother says you must. No matter what anyone else says, you must say or do. You can still think whatever you choose to think. You got to understand this law, the law of focus. A lot of people can't focus. Whatever you focus your attention on, it grows. It's like a gardener. I'm a gardener. Whatever I focus my attention on, it grows. That's why I say these are the words that I manifest. Words are spelling growth. I put a hell of a spell on my growth. The mental technology to radically alter your circumstances, your past, your future, and every aspect of your life. This law is another spectacular key to freedom, because it says whatever you focus your attention on, it grows. What are you focusing your attention on? Nothing. This is a far-reaching discovery. Since attention is actually energy, it means that you energize whatever you focus your attention on. Your attention brings to life or creates out of the vast field of infinite energy or pure potentiality, whatever experience you are focusing on. I know this for a fact. Another way of stating this law is your problems don't bother you. If I don't think about them, they ain't gonna bother you. I'm so busy feeling good that I don't have time to feel bad. I told y'all, my cup running over so much with the Holy Spirit, can't nothing come in it. My cup runneth over. I don't have time for no negative conversation. You come on here and try to talk about somebody, I'm gonna call them and say, yep, this is what you gotta say about this person. That's what family do. Liars. These two statements might sound ridiculous, but if you think about it, both contain vital truth about the way the mind works. Yep. Ask yourself, do you exist if you are not conscious? Can you exist without consciousness? If you understand that you are your consciousness, then it follows logically that you must be and experience whatever you are thinking about. See, in every situation, you can choose what to focus on. Think of an example or an analogy. You have a pain in your shoulder. You can choose to focus your shoulder. You can choose to focus on your shoulder, or you can choose to focus on the rest of your body, because that's how you heal. And the 99.9% of your body, which feels perfectly healthy and which is functioning perfectly, since what you focus on grows. And by focusing on your health and strength, you energize your body and allow your immune system to heal whatever is not in alignment with the focus of your attention. See, I know this as a key. I'm giving you keys. Law 4 is the law of sponsoring thought. Your sponsoring thought determines your reality. Your belief patterns determine your experience. The life you are living today is the result of your basic thoughts or opinions about this experience we call life. And I see these grown people on the internet, they want a pill as you continue to eat this poison and drink poison. But you want to give a pill. So poison and poison equals poison. These basic thoughts or beliefs are your sponsoring thoughts, the thought pattern that define your relationship to everything that is happening in the experience we call life. And by sponsoring thoughts, I do not mean passing fancies or your changing ideas and opinions about this and that, because we have different opinions and our mind changes as we grow. That's what growth is. But your most basic view or understanding of life. And these are the ideas that underline everything that you think, that you say, and that you do. How? That's why I tell people the internet is a lie. You can't just make posts and your life change. You can also say these are your most basic ideas about the nature of reality. That's why each person, every individual human being, has his or her own unique spin or version of nature or reality. And this is why every single person is also living in his or her own special world. Yeah, I know this. People have very different views of the nature of reality or of this experience we call life. But thought is the cause. Events are the effects. See, I know this. I know this. The sufferer, the dualistic view of life, the nature of reality. You got to understand that. The fetish worshiper is another spin on the materialistic, the dualistic view of life. People with this type of sponsoring thought pattern believe that their fate or destiny depends on the outside forces. Bullcrap. Forces beyond their own control. These forces include concepts and ideas such as heredity. Oh, well, my mom had this or happened. No. Those are bad habits. Or your horoscope. You talk about your horoscope. I deal with the astrological signs. Well, let's deal with the astrological signs. Everybody talk about the eclipse. They finna go out and get some energy. You ain't about to go get no energy. That's all false. All a lucky rabbit's foot. You already got the keys. The position of the stars and planets. I don't care about the position of the stars and planets. I'm going to still be God. The stars can fall. Your sex, your age, your nationality, your education. This is the lower self. But us as mountain climbers, people with this view of life or sponsoring thought pattern are basically success-oriented, whether their orientation tends to be more materialistic or spiritual. They basically believe in their own personal power. But the power is the Holy Spirit. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. Number 5, the law of individualization. You have nothing to deal with but your own thoughts. The devil and the higher self is within. You talking about the devil busy. Yeah, you the devil. No devil making you do it nothing. You making yourself do it. How? Your thoughts and your decisions. Each individual is a focal point in the infinite consciousness of energy field in which we all live. Each individual is a center of consciousness who is using the infinite mind in his or her own unique way. When we learn from the law of sponsoring thought, each individual has his or her own unique basic thought patterns concerning the nature of life or the nature of reality. And when you combine this understanding with what you learn in the first law, that thought is the cause of everything we experience, you will understand why each individual must also be living in his or her own unique world, in his or her own reality, based on his or her view of what reality is. But we all connected by cords. Since thought is creative, whatever you think the world looks like, that's what the world looks like to you. I think the world is beautiful, and the world cleans out itself from all garbage. The world never going to end. The world is going to always eject itself from garbage. See, this is quite a radical concept for most people, but it's true nevertheless. The world you live in is the result of your sponsoring thoughts about life or nature of reality. And this is a radical departure from what most of us learned in school, because you've been lied to in school. How? Because in school, they told you the color spectrum goes from white to dark. And that's pseudoscience. The color spectrum can't go from white to dark. It always goes from dark to light. In the beginning, the world was dark. Don't you understand this? Most of us we're taught that there is an objective material world which exists outside of us and which is common to all. But science, however, has already disproved that lie. When I talk about quantum physics, which a lot of our people don't understand, I told y'all, I'm an educator. I done divulged in all sciences. But quantum physics has demonstrated that we all live in and are a part of one massive field of energy. Each individual is simply a focal point of consciousness within this field. That's why quantum physics also teaches us that all phenomena, be it living beings or the so-called inanimate objects, are made up of the same energy. What I'm trying to say, my brothers and sisters, everything you are, me, our house, computers, cars, food we eat, everything can be broken down into the same basic units or components called what? Atoms. These atoms can be broken down even further into subatomic particles, which can be broken down into waves of energy. At this level of perception, my brothers and sisters, perception, all of creation is one vast field of energy, one vast unified whole. What we experience as life is what pops out of this field because of the focus of our attention. The field itself is the field of energy containing all experience. Since it is all there, it all there is. Thus, it is the nature of our attention which determines the nature of our experience. Thank you for the donation, brother. This is why you have nothing to deal with but your own thoughts. That's the devil. Everything you experience is a result of your own sponsoring thoughts and the focus of your attention. Everything you experience in this world is the result of your focus and understanding of the vast field of energy in which we all live and move and have our beings. That's why understanding this law is another extremely important aspect of mental technology, because with understanding comes freedom. And one of the messages here that I give to my brothers and sisters, if you don't like the world you are living in, you can change the world by changing your thought. See, I know this to be true. The religious person go to church all day and somebody talk about they gonna teach you how to speak in tongues. Can't no goofy Negro teach you how to speak in tongues. The Bible says if there's no one to interpret that crap, that's for you and God. That's all gibberish. That's all gibberish. But you talk about you speaking in tongues. You ain't speaking no another language. You don't even want to take the time to learn another language. Miss me with the games. But you got these religious people talking about they speaking in tongues. You ain't speaking in tongues. Miss me with the lies. The law of creation. Since you are thinking most of the time, you are creating most of the time. And most people don't think, they just react. When we know that thought is the cause, that thought is creating our reality, we begin to realize how important it is to examine our thinking processes. One of the first things we discovered is that we probably thinking most of the time. One of my homies just said, he was like, man, how can people, no disrespect, how can people still go to church and listen to that crap every day and run, they saying the same thing and don't want to come listen to you? He was like, man, I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Because I'm giving you keys. I'm giving you keys. It's qualifications to be a minister. I'm talking about life. Ain't nothing outside of yourself. Ain't nothing outside of yourself. Ain't nobody went to heaven and died and came back and told you what heaven about. They lying. And not only are we thinking most of the time, most of us are not in control of what we are thinking. Our thinking is like a runaway train. It's hazardous and random, which I call haphazardous. Mostly controlled by the input we are getting from our surroundings, what you watching on TV, the music you listening to. For example, what other people are saying or doing on TV, the radio, what we read in the newspapers. Since most people are not in control of their minds, we can deduce that most people are not in control of their lives either. Why? Because you out of shape. This means that they are probably experiencing a reality they did not consciously choose and live in their life, which may be far from the life they desire. But who's to blame? Yourself. Then they blame the devil. The devil made me do it. Ain't no devil made you do nothing. Stop lying. You the devil. You the morning star. You Lucifer. The lack of mental control explains why so many people feel victimized, feel they have no control over their lives, because it's true. They have no control over their lives. Now that you are starting to understand this mental law, it's easy to understand why. It's easy to understand why you must control your thinking in order to control what you are manifesting in your life. Because all thought is creative. I'm telling you this. And law 7, as I close, oh no, I got 10, I think, my bad. You can have an emotion without having a first thought. You can't have an emotion without having a thought first. You can't have an emotion without having a thought first. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. Thought precedes emotion. And at this dynamic time in human history, violent emotions dominate human behavior, causing disharmony in people and personal lives. This is what I know. Mental technology teaches us that the true relationship between thought and emotion. And this is thought precedes emotion. This means you cannot have an emotion without first having a thought. That's why you got to understand what I'm saying. You must understand what I'm saying. And when you understand this law, you will see that you cannot be angry without having an angry thought first. And that you cannot be sad without having a sad thought first. You can buy all the clothes and cover yourself up. You can buy all those pills. It don't mean nothing. Nor can you feel loving and kind without having loving and kind thoughts first. For most people, this realization is a true revelation. A revelation is an understanding, not nobody telling you something in no church, not nobody talking about they teaching you how to speak in tongues. That's a lie. Can't nobody teach you how to speak in tongues unless they showing you how to speak another language. Because the Bible says, if there's nobody to interpret that crap you saying, that's for you and God. And you don't know what you're saying. Lies. It ain't no truth in you. Lies. Since most people are driven by their emotions, recognizing and understanding this law and how this mechanism works, both in themselves and in other people, it requires a great expansion of consciousness and self-awareness when you think it's a devil. When you think it's a devil, talk about the devil busy. Who, your decisions? Because I told you, the Bible is not a religious book. Anybody sit up here and say the Bible is a religious book, preach it up, I'm going to tell you, you were a liar. That's why it's qualification to be a pastor, a teacher, a rabbi, a minister, a map, and a guide. Talk about somebody called you. I've been called in the ministry. Who called you? Tyrone? Miss me with the lie. And only Negroes do that. If I go around my European and Jewish colleagues that I mentor every day, that support me way more than everybody else, they'll say, well, your map and guide is right here. Let's try experimenting with the mind, with the emotion-body connection. And to experience this connection, you must sit quietly by yourself for a few moments, which we don't. I can go on and give you analogies and parables. But see, my people only support garbage. They only support niggertainment. They only support garbage food. But all my people, all my European Jewish colleagues, all my people that understand that I'm a map and a guide, that I'm a teacher to them, they support me. While we talking about this and that they ain't the Jews. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You not, because you don't have a clear understanding. Law 8 is the law of substitution. You can only change your thinking by replacing old thought patterns with new ones. As we ascertained earlier, you are almost always thinking. We also ascertained that you cannot stop thinking just by willing to do so. Like you can say, I got to use the bathroom and go do it. You can't. Sometimes more is required, such as meditation or effective techniques for quieting the mind. I'm a map and a guide. I show you how to do these things. I'm a physical fitness trainer. I'm a herbalist. I'm a sensei. I show you how to get in shape. But everybody want a magical pill because they don't want to put that work in. They want to go to church and somebody say something to make them feel good when your life is in shambles. And now that we know that you are thinking most of the time, we can deduce that you must also be thinking about something most of the time. In other words, it's the nature of the mind to be thinking about something. It's also the nature of the mind to think in fixed, habitual thought patterns. And if you begin observing your thought patterns, you will discover that certain types of events usually trigger certain thought patterns in you and I. And once your mind starts moving in a specific direction, it just seems to continue in that direction until something else pops up and gets your attention. See, I know this. This is why it's so difficult to tell yourself to stop thinking negatively, to stop eating poison. First of all, we know that you just can't tell yourself to stop thinking. Some have to work inside. See, I know this. Law 9, the law of mental equivalence. The law of equal equivalence. Like attracts likes. I said it. Don't know opposites attract. We'll be like, well, opposite attract. I see some in him. I see he got some abilities. No, he don't. I see women, they talk about this, why you ain't in no union. Why? Because you don't want that. You don't want that. All you want to do is jump on the internet and complain because you a bad bee. And you say, I don't need no money. I'm chasing money. And that's all you're going to do is chase money. But I can't tell, and these women be having multiple kids, talk about men ain't nothing. Well, how many baby daddies you got? A great deal of modern mental training is based on the law of mental equivalence. The law explains that we must have the subconscious mental equivalent of whatever good we wish to experience on the outer external plane. How can a woman say she a God woman and not dealing with a God man? That's crazy because you met him at the club. In other words, you cannot experience prosperity until you have a prosperity consciousness. Prosperity consciousness comes before the money in the bank. I'm telling you. And by the same token, you cannot experience health until you have a health consciousness. Prosperity consciousness comes before the money. The same token, you cannot experience the health. You cannot experience love until you have a love consciousness and so forth. But when they get on here, I don't need no man. I'm after the bag. I don't need no man. I'm after the bag. And then here it is. I see you with another dude you met in the club. And then talk about men ain't nothing. That's your fault. This law tells us that all our outer experiences are equivalent to our inner states of the mind and consciousness. And I ain't talking about no young girl that's 20, 21, because I used to hang out. I'm talking about these women that's 40, 45, damn near 50, going to get their body done, and then in the clubs. Man, go sit your old grandmama self down somewhere. Often we are unaware of the deepest thought patterns in our subconscious mind. See, women think I'm pretty. Man, pretty, that's just a requirement. Don't nobody want nobody ugly, so what? I'm pretty. And you an airhead. You an airhead pretty hood rat. These thoughts are either our sponsoring thoughts. When you look at the law of sponsoring thought, I want us to understand this. Like attracts likes. Like attracts likes. Opposites do not attract. If you are being to observe people around you, your discernment, you will discover that angry people generally have many experiences to be angry about. That they truly kind and loving meet evidence of this loving kindness wherever we go. And that the man or woman with the prosperity consciousness is prosperity or prosperous. That people with a health consciousness are healthy, and so on. See, I know this. These mental techniques, such as affirmations and visualization exercises, are based on this law. Both techniques aim to reprogram the subconsciousness mind and help people develop new mental patterns and new mental equivalents by feeding the subconscious mind with new sponsoring thoughts, my brothers and sisters. And by means of constant repetition, the subconscious mind eventually accepts the new thought patterns. And when this happens, events and experiences in the outer world must change and align with the new thought patterns. What I'm saying is the equivalent to the new mental patterns they're going to manifest. And for an in-depth explanation of affirmations and visualization, I teach you this. I teach you the road to power. Fast food for the soul. The prayer of gratitude is probably the strongest type of mental affirmations. That's what I said. When I'm giving you food right now, I'm feeding you food right now. I can't even get Negroes give a small donation, but you're going to get right off this and go and eat a crab boil. You're going to go right to church and give a donation, which you can do his own, but I'm feeding you right now. And a Negro won't even donate $5, but it's okay. I know where I'm at with people. And that's why I say my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. But you're going to go to church Sunday with all your kids and all y'all going to give money. But what the church have done for you? I'll wait because you clearly ain't learning nothing. And 10, the law of manifestation. The law of manifestation. What are you manifesting? What are you manifesting? The law takes our understanding of the phenomena a giant step forward and teaches us that there is no difference between cause and effect. Cause and effect are in fact one and the same. And at this point, this might be difficult to understand for the mortal man. But if you remove the time factor, you will understand why this is true. Because without time, which is the process in all things, you will see the cause and effect are identical. And a little more thought will reveal to you that they must be identical. Nothing else is possible, which is why we now see thoughts are things. This is the law of manifestation. The law also tells us that since thoughts are things, the reverse must also be true. In other words, things must also be thoughts. This means that you can discover the nature of the cause by considering the effect. And since they are one and the same, the cause of you being fat is the effect of you eating poison. This principle is demonstrated by the physical laws we discussed at the beginning of this dissertation. Remember what I said, radish seeds always produce radish seeds. They never produce strawberries. The whole radish plant is inherited in the seed. The only difference between the seed and the full-grown plant is the time factor, my brothers and sisters. But to get a plant, you must plant the seed first. And from the law, we can deduce the full significance of this mental technology and the right thinking, because it tells us that if our thoughts are harmonious and good, the results of manifestation will likewise always be harmonious and good. That's why when you plant something and the soil good, and you growing it, and you get away all the so-called weeds that's going to grow around it, it's going to produce something good. That's what leads us to the practical application of this mental technology, my brothers and sisters. That's why I'm telling y'all how it works. It works. You must be here. You must sit at the foot of the Magi and learn. Let me give you some science for all my scientists. How does it happen? What are the mechanics of creation? How does the unmanifest become manifest? Remember Einstein's theory of relativity, E equals mc2. It demonstrates that energy and mass are identical and interchangeable. The very wise tells us that thought is the mechanism of creation, the bridge between energy and mass, between the unmanifest and the manifest. And now, what in fact is thought, my brothers and sisters, as I close? Thought is the intention and attention. Thought organizes energy and information. So what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, thought organizes the field of the infinite energy, which without thought is just unlimited potential. You could say that thought does not put anything into the field, rather it takes something out of the field by limiting and defying the field. Without thought, this field is simply pure potentiality. It is thought or intention and attention that organize and makes manifest creation pop out of the unmanifest, which is the field of infinite energy, my brothers and sisters. So the sequence: first thought, the contemplation of the infinite mind. Second, The word, sound, speech, vibration. The thought expressed. Every thought has a sound or vibration. The sound and vibration and thought is the technology of manifestation. Manifestation, differentiation, is due to the vibrational frequency. Every being, thing, creation, dimension has its own unique vibrational frequency. As the infinite mind contemplates and uses sound to create in the universe or the universal, so man, so woman thinks and uses speech and vibrational frequencies to rule his or her own world. Whether conscious or unconscious, this process is always going on. So, I give y'all honor for taking time out y'all day, for listening and understanding. I give you honor. This is the science of application. At the BBT, we're not religion because the Bible, the Quran, is not a religious book. It's a scientific book. And I operate on science. I operate on things that I can show you, things that I can prove. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things and hold fast to what is good. Any questions? Any questions?
Just once again, gratitude for the illumination of Islam. Definitely much.
Islam. I have a question. Islam.
Absolutely.
So when you say as far as the technology of the mind, you're talking about the software in regards to what you deposited in the mind and how we apply it. Is that correct?
Islam, Noble Alonzo.
Islam.
Islam. Islam. Islam.
Gratitude for the illumination. I think this goes along well with the reading from Tez yesterday too. It's all in the mind. Success starts in the mind. Failure starts in the mind. Healing starts in the mind. Growth, it's all starts in the mind. Like you said, you gotta plant them seeds first. That software to be developed first.
Islam.
Yep. Anybody else? Anybody else got an input? Anybody?
So I could also add too, like we talking about technology and hardware, what you always say is about a flush and fill and it reboots your hard drive. Kind of all goes together. Sometimes when you take in too much or of the bad thing, after a certain period of time, you need a flush. And it also kind of goes into what you're producing or the lack thereof. So you can tell by your activities. Islam.
I asked everybody, what are we doing with our 24 hours? See, we got to take time. Like I said, I use a 30-minute rule. Take 30 minutes out of your day to work out. Take 30 minutes out of your day to study. I give so much wisdom. And I don't just talk about it. I give you all the books. Man, I was introduced to the wisdom. I had to sit at the foot for years and years to come up with this. And then I gather and compile it, and I give it back to my brothers and sisters. When I go on the college campus, they don't want me to leave. What they want me to stop doing is stop doing this. No disrespect. I'm being honest. I'm always be transparent with my brothers and sisters. What the world want me to do is stop dealing with this. They say, you dealing with Negroes. They say Negroes is not going to catch it. They're going to continue to do the same thing. But I said, if I can just get a remnant, if I can just get one, I've done my job. Because it ain't a dollar amount nobody can pay me. I don't operate on no dollar amount. This is ministry for me. I don't say nobody it's a certain amount. I ask people for suggested donation. I don't care if you give $100 or $5. You're going to get the same wisdom from me. So when we in class and I say give a small donation, I'm giving you the literature where you can read it with your babies. You don't got to listen to me. When I ask for a $5 or $10 donation in class, anything we going over, I'm going to give it to you. Unless it's expensive books that it costs a lot. That's what I tell people. And you should be willing to deal with that. I don't ask nobody to pay me because nobody can't pay me enough. I operate my ministry on suggested donations. And you get a Chinese receipt for donating. What's wrong with that? But what we do, we give all our money to Uncle Sam. And what do NBCs want? A stupid tax return. Y'all want to file a whole bunch of fake taxes. Well, the whole thing is to give Uncle Sam less money and support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. That's the law. I ask every Negro on my page, black person, whatever you call it, you think you're getting ready to get a tax return. Well, let's look at it. How much Uncle Sam took out of your check the whole year, and then you let them take the biggest percentage out your check to get a stupid tax return? That's garbage. Well, how much of your tax return money do you have? I'll wait. Anybody else got any other questions?
Gratitude and love.
I sent y'all
Gratitude sheet.
And where a lot of this science come from. I sent y'all. If y'all didn't get it, let me know. That's why I'm telling y'all, man. One of my professors said, I know for a fact that your brothers and sisters that dealing with you, they ain't getting this stuff from nowhere else. They got that from you because you put the work in. I put the work in. God showed me this. That's why I went to college and got my degrees. And I taught the same way in the university. I did the same thing Google done. Google spent $25 million converting books to PDF. $25 million. And they taking the information out of all the books. I got more wisdom than Google. I got over 1 million books and documents. 1 million. And I continue to still get stuff given to me. That's what I use my finances on. And all I ask is for is a small donations. I don't ask for no whole bunch of money from nobody. I don't. And I'm not going to do it. Why? Because most black people say they don't have nothing. But when you jump on the internet, they fresh as hell, excuse my candor, and they go on the crab boils each week. I'm sorry. And they smoke more dispensary weed than anybody. No disrespect. I'm not knocking nothing. I'm just saying. It's what it is. They done programmed us to be nothing but consumers. We make so many withdrawals and we don't deposit nothing. And we want everything for free. But I bet you can't go on Amazon and deal with Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos don't care how many books you buy from him. That's all you get. When you deal with me, I give you gifts. And my people are lost due to the lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. So once again, I give y'all honor. I give y'all glory. Thanks for those that gave small donations to our temple and school. It's Cash App, $KG Bay. And if you want the documents, the 10 mental laws, and the power of the mind, and documents that I go over, man, all you got to do is give donations. Come to Adapt Class every Saturday. Come to our book reading on Friday. And then tomorrow we have Sunday school at 2 p.m. AZ time zone. With that, I say Islam, amen. Can we get our Moorish American prayer? And then can we get our benediction by our noble Alonzo Hicks Bay, please? I said Alonzo Hicks Bay. Excuse me, Alonzo Right Bay. I got Brian all in my head.
Islam. Allah.
But Alonzo, before you do that, noble Alonzo, because I be asking brothers to enlighten us with things. Do you got anything, noble Alonzo, that you want to give us for encouragement as we close?
No, I would just say that if you, all those are under the sound of my voice, take time to go to bbtsciencetemple.com and take your time there. Look over the pages, read through them. You know, any questions that you have that you don't see there, hold it for us and then reach out to us via email, via inbox, or we invite you as a guest to be a guest of ours during the class. But bbtsciencetemple.com is your place and your source to start in the right direction and to get more acquainted with the BBT Science Temple in school. With that, I say peace and love.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asha'ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace. Now, Father tells me benediction. It reads as follows: May the benison of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the locks of the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key to salvation already rest within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad. And at the BBT, when we say Al-Haq, that's Arabic and it stands for the truth. And when we say Ya Muhammad, that's Arabic as well, and it stands for the protector. We at the BBT see ourselves as truth protectors. So we casting our net out for all true and divine light seekers to come and join on to us. For the truth has no sides. For the truth is one, as man is with Allah. And with that, we say peace and love. Islam. Peace, 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 peace.
I love y'all, man.
Love
See
you
y'all
right
tomorrow.
back.
Gratitude to everybody, man. Love y'all. Peace
Love
and
you
love.
too. Love everybody.
Peace.
Peace to God.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Dear young king who embodies the wisdom of ancient years, can I place some knowledge at your anxious ear? It's good to receive and yet it's better to give, so please take these truths of gold as a gift. We was just taking classes, counting bottles of beers, now we letting liquor spill by our fallen peers. Life lessons that I learned wasn't taught by a teacher. How the fuck would they know what the problem is? Man, the sky was so tall, our world was so small, and the universe revolved around dollar bills. We was just trying to fit like counterfeits, and we didn't even know we was gold bars. Living like foxes or faux pas, but when we walk in the room, we like elephants. Grace that replaced that them peasants went, just to let them bask in our elegance.